and my mother and my father rushed me to the hospital. I was actually pronounced dead, and my mother actually watched them wheel me away and on a little gurney. And the story is she came back into the waiting room, and for the first time ever, she saw my father on his knees praying. And I believe I had a near death at that time, because the image for me was this little baby on hands of light being pushed up to a light, and then I came back. And so that was probably a near death experience there that I had completely forgot. My mother didn't know about that part, and so the life review was pretty terrible. The farther back I went, and then suddenly my life review was over, and I was lost and in my soul crying for help. What do I do now? What do I do now? Is this the way it ends? And literally, an angel appeared to me, and I didn't believe in angels. I thought they were figurines. And this golden angel actually appeared, and I said, "Are you the angel of death?" that's all I could think.
That's the attitude you had, I guess. Then,
yeah. Are you the angel of death? My God, what a surprise! And the angel said, "No, I am Mellon, and I'm like the feeling was I'm like your guardian angel." And
which you never knew existed when you were living,
or even believed in.
Yeah, that
sort of thing. I thought all those were myths. And with the help of this angel, I was taken to what we call the light. And when I got to the light, I guess I do what all non-believers do, including atheists. I said, "Are you God?" Are you God? Oh my God. And the feeling was euphoric, absolutely euphoric. And I've had so many years now to go back to the light and learn more that I can actually explain what the euphoric feeling is that the near-deathers have. And it's the feeling of leaving this world behind and leaving the gravity and the pressures and the survival that we're all caught in. We don't even think about it. We're all caught in survival every day of our life, like everything else in nature. And to drop that and all of that is an absolute euphoric experience. Now, I didn't know this, but many years later, I think around 1985 or 7 in there somewhere, I attended a lecture by PMH Atwater, one of the great researchers, and that's when I first...
Giant in the business.
Yeah, that's when I first realized, my God, maybe I had a near-death experience. So I talked with Phyllis, and she took me under her wing and literally discovered me in the backwaters. And then she introduced me to Ken Ring, who was interested in my case, and they found that there were some unusual things about my near-death experience, and one of which was that there was a moment in front of the light where I said, just out of nowhere, I said, "Can we stop right here? Can we stop right now? I want to understand this. I have some questions." And the light said, "Of course." And
really?
So
okay.
This is the
so
first.
Let you do that.
Well, this is the first recorded case they know of where the experience became an interactive experience. And at that moment, I realized that life is interactive, and so is your death experience. Is completely interactive. You can be someone who just gets on the train and takes the ride, or you can be interactive. And when the light said that, there was no pressure. There was no, pressure of any kind. And I had a lot of questions. And so I talked with the light, and the light was answering my questions in a way in which I understood them, me personally understood them. And I had a lot of questions about everything. And at one point, I ran out of questions. And I tell people that I live now with all of my questions answered to my satisfaction, but by no means do I know everything, because I think every one of us has our own set of unique questions to explore the universe with. But for me, all of my great questions were answered to my satisfaction and to my understanding. And it's been that way ever since.
That's amazing. Mellon, as we approach the bottom of the hour, we'll get more into what you learned on the other side. But as you evolved over the years, did this event that occurred, this after-death experience, did you subsequently, when you came back to life, and even to this day, are you still learning things because of that experience?
Well, I didn't know this till I met PMH Atwater and Ken Ring, but I go back to the light every day. I didn't know that I'm the only one they knew that was doing this.
Yeah. Okay.
And I've subsequently been tested, and it's been a joy to have been a guinea pig for many years. But I thought everyone was doing it, and I go back to the light every day, or at will, if I need to, for doing consultations or inventions and things like that. And I've been tested. I can invent on command.
The lessons that you learned out there, who gave them to you?
Well, I call it the great light. It's the great self. There's only one of us, actually, in this world and in this universe, and it is the great self. It is the sum total of all of us and everything that's ever been. The concept of God is simplistic, or a white man in the sky with a beard. Very, very simplistic to what's really going on. But it is the self. It is our self. And it is the sum total of everything that's ever been learned in this universe.
The fact that you did this and you've come back and you've learned, you've trained people, you've talked to others, you have been studied literally with a microscope. What's the biggest lesson for those of us right now on this planet, living, breathing, who are mired in everything that's been going on over the past so many years? What would you tell us all?
That creation has just begun, and the future is so bright. Believe it, the future is so bright for humanity, and we can get into the details later.
Yeah.
But what I learned is that we've already made it. We just haven't realized it. We've already made it, and not only is our survival and future possible, it's inevitable.
Do you grasp life today?
I love life, and it's kicked me in the ass a bunch of times, but I love life, and I understand the time of history that we're in, and I have a very good perspective, even with what we might call the negativities of life. And believe me, I've been kicked around as much as anybody else.
Does that bother you now when you see, because you've changed, you've made this huge metamorphosis, this shift. Does it bother you when somebody comes into a room and you know they're negative, they're down on everything?
Not so much, because quite often when someone's negative or being mean to you, it's not even about you, it's about their life. So if you don't take most of this personally, and also part of stress relief in the world is relieving stress in others. Sometimes a kind word will change the meanest person. Sometimes you just have to get away from them, though.
I call them energy zappers. Others have called them psychic vampires, Mellon.
Parasites,
They do have an incredible ability to just make you just empty energy-wise. You just feel weak around these people.
Yes, that's why you certain people like that you just get away from.
By going to the other side, is it all about energy?
No, it's about so much more. What I learned was that there's so much more than even life and death. We're still dealing with survival and what we call life and death. There's so much more than even life and death to discuss.
All right, well, you stay with us. Mellon's website, of course, is mellon-thomas.com, mellon-thomas.com, MELLEN. It's linked up at coasttocoastam.com. Back in a moment, because we'll learn what he learned from the other side when we come right back. And our guest tonight is Mellon Thomas Benedict, author, of course, of 2 books, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Other Side, Journey Through the Light and Back. If you'd like to order, it's 800-BOOKLOG or Amazon.com for these incredible stories. We'll be back with Mellon in a moment on Coast to Coast AM.